Okay, so I keep um trying to explain myself to Shannon Johnson. So instead of doing that, I'm just gonna say I'm sorry if I misunderstood your intent towards me. And got confused and had sex with you when you might have wanted to wait for marriage. I didn't know that. Now all I can do is explain why I was confused religiously, like I keep trying to explain to you, and why I went ahead and had sex with you without knowing, again, your stance on the particulars, right? Now, some people, you know, read the Bible and they want to do everything the church tells them to do, and that's okay. Some people, though, become what's called the prodigal son, right? And that's kind of what I was going through when I met you. So, I was trying to tell you that I've been with five other women, right? And when I said with, I meant sex with, right? Before I met you, right? I'm not saying I'm being promiscuous, but the relationships are just lasting so long and then it don't work out, right? Some were even one night stands, right? There again, we're in what's called the heat of the moment. We're dating. We start introduced each other. We got to know each other, including making out a little. Now, in the dating world today, though, don't forget, males are looking for sex. Maybe you didn't think you needed to tell me by telling me you were religious and your dad had molested you, but I dated and tried to have sex with a girl in a similar situation before I met you, right? Now, did me and her have sex on the first couple of dates? No, no. But you didn't say you didn't want it or were waiting for marriage either. And all I can do is say, well, I didn't know that, right? No. Before I pulled your panties and shorts down, right? Which you might have thought was for the oral sex, right? From the night before. Well, it's the following day to me, right? So I said, well, why not do a change up and have sex with it, right? In my mind, too, right? Because you didn't say you didn't want sex or to wait for marriage, right? See, when you're dating someone you don't know, assume in general that unless it goes badly, the male's trying to go all the way with you, is what it's called, right? And make love to you or have sex with you, right? If you don't assume that, you're being naive to dating practices that are really going on around you and not necessarily what your church is doing or not, right? Too. And some people, even in the church, are having premarital sex. I know. My friend Myron, most guys would prefer premarital sex to sex after marriage, right? If you let them do it, right? Well, the difference is, though, you have to tell me that before the date, right? Or during the date, right? That you don't want that kind of sex, right? Well, I guess you didn't think you needed to either. But the problem is, you did, I know. And you didn't know, I know. You needed to, and I didn't know I needed to ask you, per se, your stance on it either. When you're dating like that, and we are in what's called the heat of the moment, what that means is I'm doing what I think you are comfortable with, and you're doing what you think I'm comfortable with, right? Well, you never brought to the table your stance of marriage, right? Do you want to wait for marriage before you have sex or after marriage, right? Get married. Because, see, in the Bible, it's kind of done either way. For instance, Abraham and Sarah became husband and wife more than they were really legally married or anything. So did Isaac and Rebecca kind of just start going at it, right? As soon as he met the woman, they went straight into the tent and started doing the wild thing. But it's how you would word it today. I'm trying to also lighten the mood with you if it is you, right? Or Mary Bell or whoever, right? But it seems like it's you or Mary Bell who has the biggest problem. Mary Bell, if I got her pregnant somehow while she was on birth control pills, she can't handle that. No, I guess, right? You, if we had sex and you didn't want the sex until after marriage, right? But you gotta say that before the date, right? Because I don't know your view on it, right? Not even during the date do I know you don't want premarital sex, right? But that's the point. What is it called when you're naive to sex? Naive, right? Or dating rules, right? You don't know the dating rules, nor did I know I needed to ask you about your stance either. That's what I mean. I didn't know your stance. Right. And see, I'm also saying, to what you're saying, I don't know what's going on now, right? You got mad about something. Well, what did you get mad about? See, we had did everything we did until the thought we left for it, right? I just started writing you and talking more about details, including if I got you pregnant with the sex, right? Now, sometime after that, you quit writing, you do, right? I don't know what happened, right? I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's in your head, right? And so you're not telling me either. You just shut off all communications with me because we had sex and you didn't realize it. That's not a good way to react to that, where I still don't know what's going on in your head, right? And that's why it happened. You didn't know what was going on in my head, nor did I know what was going on in yours, right? We didn't communicate to each other what we really wanted there, right? And that's on both of us for different reasons, right? Me, because I assumed you were willing to go all the way with me, and I guess you really weren't. And you, because you assumed whatever you assumed about it, that I only wanted oral sex with you and it wouldn't lead to sex, right? Which we were both naive about the other's feelings. We didn't realize we weren't on the same page either. Not even after the sex, which was loving and gentle, wasn't it? It wasn't like I was rough with you. I gently went inside of you, which you probably thought was my tongue, I guess. I didn't know though, right? You were against it. And I also wasn't trying to violate your relationship with God or your church or your religious beliefs. And knowingly is what I mean, right? How would I know your church's stance or what you believe? We never brought it up. You just told me you're a Pentecostal. Okay, what does that mean? I've heard of the Pentecostal. My pastor claimed to be a former Pentecostal, but he ain't exactly being godly himself. He's trying to jerk off with a bunch of men in his church and get them to become eunuchs for him or something, right? And pay him money. And be his single breadwinners, I guess, right? For Jesus, I know. Well, okay, that didn't hit with me right, but I can't condemn it either, I know. But, whatever, to each his own too, right? Even if I don't understand it and I'm not comfortable with doing it myself, I guess they were okay with it. But, not every church does that either. But it would also sexually confuse me, though, when I met you. I know. And me to assume I had the liberty to do what I did, too, right? With you. I don't know nothing about your beliefs. I know. Or what your church believes. That's why I'm saying to you Bible studies after you quit writing me, right? And I don't know what's going on in your head. And I'm no more writing you any quicker or any slower than anyone else. Even the Bible studies, I'm just sending them once a day. I have to write them up first or in the day, right? Then I send them to you, right? And I wrote you how many ever Bible studies Pastor Davis had typed up at the time, which is at least 30, right? Or so, right? I'm also writing you normal letters to you, right? As well, but no more than, say, 100, right? Or maybe less than 50 out on that, right? But that's strange details that whatever's going on, right? Someone's exaggerating a bit what happened in reality, too. Now, all you can say, like I said, is you did not communicate to me well what your intent was that day, to where I didn't know you were wanting the oral sex only from the night before. That's why I'm trying to talk to you about it, because once you overreacted to the sex, no, I still didn't know it was the sex you had a problem with. You didn't tell me the problem. And if we done had the sex, honey, it's kind of too late. Even if I got you pregnant or not, like I'm saying, I'm still trying to continue the relationship to marriage. And I'm not trying to dump you or anything, or scare you away with the two witness thing, or, make you more religious than you already were, which kind of seemed like what happened as well. But like I said, after the fact, right? If you're told to beware someone, it's prior to the act, right? It's too late if you fall for it. To get mad with me and try to get revenge, punish me. You want to be my judge, juror, and executioner now? What do you think you're making me feel like? I don't even know what the problem was. Because you're not sane, like I'm supposed to know. I'm not a mind reader, nor was Jesus, I know. But he might can read body language, I know. Reading someone's body language ain't the same as knowing exactly what they're thinking either, I know. Ladies, y'all need to quit confusing that too. A man can tell if you're upset, but he don't know what you're upset about when he's asking you that. We're not mind readers. None of us, not you either. You get mentally ill. Yes, you are. No one can read your mind. You can read your mind. And I'm sorry we didn't weren't on the same page today of the date, but that's the problem. I went for something else, and you didn't say you didn't want that something else. Not the whole time we're dating the 2 days, right? And I didn't bring it up the last day either because I thought you knew we had sex. Right? I mean, if not, you're acting virginal, right? Like you didn't even have sex yet, right? Too. But you did tell me about your dad touching you inappropriately somehow, right? And you were not bleeding or anything either. So he might have did something to your virginity. But still, you stopped it, right? Y'all stopped, right. But still, I didn't know what you wanted from me, and right. And when you meet someone new and you're talking and you're getting to know each other and all that, the moment you meet someone, that's when you bring up your stance on marriage, because you can't assume our churches are doing the same thing, right? Or not. Yeah, most churches do press waiting for legal marriage, but Not everybody does it who's in the church, right? I know. That's the problem too, right? But like I said, that's why I'm trying to see your side and my side, right? And explain both sides to you so we can get over this. It has been. Did I get you pregnant or not, too, right? I'm concerned with you. Like with Mary Bell, if she don't know how I got her pregnant, well, you're right. Well, how did I get you pregnant? But the problem is the baby does trace back to when we were together last time, too, almost to the day. And the first 2 weeks don't really count, right? I don't know why, but it don't. But it don't. and, or the second 2 weeks, I don't know. I don't know. And they talk about it from conception too. The first 2 weeks after conception don't really count until after that. Because you're seeming unwilling to accept it. And I can't make you accept something you don't want to accept. And I don't know if it's true or not either. See, you're not sure how you even got pregnant. You want it to be Scott's. Whether it's his or not. And like I said, I ruined your fantasy about him too, right? And you don't want to deal with it. And someone told you, it's either you or him, it was him, that the birth weight ain't adding up to him, right? And you're mad with us both now. You feel like he's on my side and I'm on his side, and you're fighting the truth of a normal delivery too, of a normal pregnancy, right? It wasn't be abnormal with Scott either, huh? Yes, it was. Yes, it was. You had Patrick 5.5 weeks. That's not even 6 months. Watch the table. What does it say? The child's away at 6 months. 2 pounds. 2 pounds. That's at 6 months. Now, it can't be 2.5 pounds larger at 6 months. That's way off. Way off. That's what I'm trying to tell you, too. I didn't either. No. It's what's called a fluke pregnancy for some reason. Now, what was going on with you and Steven after we got caught? Mary Bell. Were you fighting a lot suddenly, right? Well, where are your birth control pills, Kit? Is medicine cabinet? And what did you tell him about the day we were together? To get away from him for a few hours. Don't tell me he don't know you're changing your routine again for me. When we got caught red-handed. And who do you think told them to check for warrants, Stephen? Who'd you call, Stephen? From the room. Now, I hate being right all the time. And I know it gets tiresome for you. Right. And you're making me have to defend myself and explain what I'm doing. And if you know what you're doing and you're trying to do the right thing by it, still, and you're still mad about what happened, right? I can't reach you. Nor can anyone else, right? And, not even the guy you thought got you pregnant, right? And the difference is in the birth weight. But stubbornness, Mary Bell, don't change facts. Denying it don't change facts, right? Wanting to pretend the baby can be a lot larger, with you and two Caucasian men in between that, right? Time. And it only can be one man's child, right? No matter whose it is as well. But it's still 5.5 months, not even a full 6, right? When Patrick was born, right? So that's really 1.5 pounds, right? I'm trying to even spot you the 2 pounds, right? And he's too big, I know. But see, how did you find out you were pregnant? After the sex with Scott, you missed your birth control pills and made sure you weren't pregnant. You took the test same day or a few days later. That's real quick to find out you're pregnant from one night stand a few days ago. It's not how that normally works. I know it's not. You were already pregnant. No. You just didn't know till you took the test, right? But someone figured it out and it wasn't you. Wasn't me. No. So it had to be Scott, right? And his family, right? They knew something was off. I know. I know. But anyway, so it's 4:58. And I'm sorry about that, dude, Maribel. So, South Carolina football team named Shane Beamer, new head coach. Well, like I said, Shane's a popular name now. It is. Right. Mm-hmm. It's USC, right? New Orleans at Atlanta.
And it's incomplete. The Saints hold on to win 21-16. While Carolina Panthers on a bye week, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Even if you lose by 1 point, though, it's still a loss, right? And even Daphne, it's like I said, I had to bring your daughter back in there too, or we were both asleep all night. I don't remember. Someone's focusing on the child being 4 years old, and I can't change that I have a 4-year-old stepdaughter at the time. Right? That's why I got to deal with it and nip it in the bud. That's what I'm trying to do, right? Because I'll always have a 4-year-old stepdaughter. I can't not talk about her, right? If they accuse me of molesting her. I know. That's the point. Now, if it's you, okay, what's going on, right? Are you trying to tempt me to molest her? Only I didn't do enough that you can prove it to the police? Are you trying to record it or something? Because, like I said, there's no evidence I did anything with her, really. If she came in there or not, right? There has to be solid evidence, right? And the tape where you're recording it don't work. It don't work. Normal mothers don't do that anyway. Especially if the dad's on the couch, stepdad's on the couch or whatever, and not trying to cause any problems anymore. Don't exactly know what he's doing wrong, but behaving himself. I know. Sleeping on the couch, right? And just trying to move back to base as fast as the process allows, right? For last Friday or Monday, I don't remember specifically, but it's less than a week. I know. I'm around her and the girl anyway, but see, that implicates someone knows something and ain't saying what it is they know or how they know, right? And the only time I really have the amnesia is at the fall. Mm-hmm. What I assumed had to do with being locked out of my room, right? But even that made some sense to up to the point of trying to get onto the window ledge. Then it kind of don't. Mm-hmm. And I have to assume or guess the rest, right? Now, if you're recording something, right, you can't suddenly switch scenes, right? Where there's so much going on in one scene, and then suddenly we're doing something else, me and your daughter. Especially something that looks kind of sexual. Because how we go from one point to the other, and you can't explain that with a video alone. Now, if the last thing they see is her over there and me over there, right, we're not exactly together yet, right? And then suddenly she's on top of me or something, right? Playing like she's riding a horse. Right? That still don't mean anything's going on with me and her. I don't recall ever doing that with anyone that's under the age of consent at all. Like I said, there was a woman who had a daughter, but she was older than Amanda, way older, way older. And I don't know what happened there. Just that I was trying to be with mom, right? And she left me in the living room. I went to her bedroom, right? And I stayed in the living room all night, right? So if an interaction occurred, it would have to be between then and morning when I actually woke up the following morning, right? Though I do know the little girl did put her vagina, her crotch area in my face, right? Mm-hmm. And I kind of know what I would tell you if your daughter came in there was that little weird, right? If I work it out. But I'm not sure. I don't know now. I don't know now. either. But like I said, you can't show a child having what appears to be sex with a male anyway, or it's kitty porn. You do know that, right? You can't send that electronically in an email to anybody. I know you can't. That's kitty porn. Whether we're having sex or not, whether it's simulated or not. Even if it looks like I'm kind of having oral sex with her or not, right? A camera don't show the distance well between the tongue and the vagina. No, it don't. And that makes it kitty porn if you act like it's sexual. Even if it's not sexual, you're showing me going near her vagina to smell it, right? which is an alternative explanation for what I'm doing. I damn sure don't know you're recording. I think the child just needs help going to the bathroom. Silly. Have you ever heard the term of entrapment anyway, what it means? Yes, yes. It's where you're trying to set someone up for not breaking the law, but you're trying to make it look like they did when they didn't, right? You can't do that either. And even if you, Gina and Maribel, hate my guts personally, you can't make me break the law with an underage girl. And act like it's all me when you're involved with it. Well, who's shooting the video? Only 2 people are in the house, right? No, 3. No, 3. Someone has to shoot the video if there's a video. Now, the only reason I know that is from the movie 1984. I'm not saying I know or witnessed anything. I'm guessing, right? Because someone's insisting something happened, and I don't know what they're talking about. I basically have amnesia of anything like that happening, right? Well, something has to cause the amnesia, right? Now, if the child did come in there to me later, I don't recall. After I fell asleep or something, right? That was a brief encounter. And nobody remembers everything the same either after 11 to 26 years. Or more. Now, something happened at the car wreck, too, and that probably involves something about sex, too, right? One way or another. It's usually someone had sex with someone who didn't want someone to have sex with them. It's usually a male. Or a female who has a daughter in a bad situation that she's putting her in, right? But like I said, if the girl came in there to me at the middle of the night, and there's 3 possible girls, right? One when I got back from overseas on my second Mediterranean tour. One of the women I went home with, who let me in her apartment, me and her had sex, right? And then I went to sleep, and she did too. Well, she had a daughter and a roommate, right?